Oh, hello everyone, it's Susie, Crypto Granny here. The date is the 29th of April 2021 and the time in the Netherlands is 2:15 p.m. I'm sorry I haven't done a podcast for a while. I was hitting a level where I was basically just hitting a wall, I have to say, and I had to take a break. So many apologies for that. Just so busy with my clients and the market, and there's so many things you've got to keep up to date with. But look, I have to say it is absolutely fascinating. God, I love this market. I love this crypto market. I love the financial market. Seriously, it's just so exciting. Now, I want to say, the first thing I want to say is I am totally bull. I'm so ultra bullish. It is a joke. This market is going to go higher and higher and higher. We've got the Fed behind this, putting trillions into the system. It doesn't stop. President Biden came out. They're talking about $1.8 trillion package for families and education. They're talking about another $2 trillion and $4 trillion for infrastructure. They want to tax the rich with capital gains tax from 20% to 39.6%. It's got to get through the Senate, which may be a trouble. Anyone with over $1 million of income will get taxed at that higher rate for capital gains tax. And clearly the Republicans are certainly against that, that's for sure, because President Biden is getting rid of ex-President Donald Trump's tax cuts, I should say. And obviously that wasn't great for the people that were below middle class or people that are living on the breadline, because it doesn't go down to the little people. And I think what President Biden's done is correct, because America's in a shocking situation at the moment. I was shocked to find out that the stats for people that are incarcerated in America was something between 70 million to 100 million. And that's just incredible. And most of those people are black. And apparently this is what I've been told by Americans, and don't quote me on this, but apparently all the jails are private jails. And so these people that are incarcerated work for about $1 a day. And there's a whole lot of stuff going out. Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan and other big investment banks, they're looking to potentially employ people that have come from criminal backgrounds, which I think is a great thing. It's about integration. It's about helping those that, don't have the opportunity to get into financial markets and everything. And I think everyone should have that ability or that opportunity to get into financial markets. Anyway, look, there's a lot to discuss today. So I'm going to have to, this is going to be a long one because we're trying to catch up from everything that's happened in the last week. And even a day in the crypto market is massive, seriously, because there's just so much going on, right? So the market cap at the moment is 2.152 trillion. Now I believe that will get to at least 4, 5, 6 trillion by the end of the year, December. Volume is very large, 94 billion. Liquidity is up at 4.5 billion, massive. Now, Bitcoin dominance, we've been talking about this for some time, is down to 47.32%. I believe that's going down to 35%. If you look at the longer term charts, that dominance got down to 35%. I think it was in January 2018, or was it December 2018? I believe that's where it's going. So essentially, you've got to be in alts, right? Because alts are going to outperform, okay? And now, we've been in Binance for a long time. I'm ultra bullish Binance, and it's broken out today. It's $600 per unit. I do believe that thing can get to $800 by Friday night, because Binance are coming out with their profits, and their profits are huge. They will be 10 times bigger than Coinbase, okay? 10 times bigger. And don't forget, a lot of people don't seem to understand or realize this. Binance is buying back 80 billion units, okay? 80 billion units, and that's not even priced in their cryptocurrency. If you take away that 80 billion and have the same market cap, it's worth about $70 per unit to Binance, right? So Binance's coin should be going up at least 670, right, from here. And that's not including FOMO, okay? So there's so many good stories about Binance. It is just a no-brainer. They're into everything. Now they've set up an NFT exchange, that they invest in things, they support other ICOs, other coins. Changpeng Zhao is an absolute genius, the CEO of Binance. Seriously, It's just unbelievable. I'm amazed they can do anything when they've got the regulators on their back all the time. And now the German regulators are looking at them for issuing tokens on Microsoft and Apple and that sort of thing. And I can't see how they can say that because they're tokens, they're not shares, right? And I just don't think the regulators have a clue of what they're doing. Just like the SEC, they've set up a committee that's going to take a year to look at cryptocurrency and what it means and all the digital stuff and all the technology stuff. And it's going to take them a year to work it out, right? And regulation, there was rumor about regulation, but it's going to take well over a year for regulation because the people in, government and the SEC haven't got a clue. And we've seen that with XRP. Seriously, XRP is winning against the SEC. All the whales are now starting to accumulate XRP. We can see that XRP is breaking out, and that could easily get to $2. Okay, and I'm so pleased because we've all been long-term holders of XRP, and it's been killing us, right? Absolutely killing us. I mean, if it wasn't for the SEC, XRP's coin would be worth at least $4 to $5 or $6 or $7 or $8 or $9, $10, right? It's just been absolutely suppressed. Now, all the big players are starting to accumulate XRP, and we saw Phoenix, an exchange, put XRP on, okay? Now, some of the exchanges never took XRP off, like BitMEX, like Uphold, thank God, and a few others, right? But I think they will put XRP back on, and I think we'll see it on some of the big exchanges. Now, let's just go through the news, right? Binance, basically, as I said, is a no-brainer. They've gone into NFT exchanges. They've invested in Chiles, which we're in Chiles, and that broke out today. It's at 59 or 60 cents. I've got a target on Chiles at 360 by the end of the year. And what I'm trying to say to you guys is you can still get into the crypto market no matter what. There are still so many cheap coins out there after the sell-off we saw, which is supposed to be regulatory, but it's not. And yes, there's still a huge opportunity to get into cheap coins, which I'll talk about later. This is going to be a long podcast, I'm afraid. So I'm just going to have a glass of water, bear with me, and a coffee. So it will be a long one. Grab a coffee, because I haven't talked to you people for a long time, and I'm really sorry about that, but I get really tired, and I have, quite a lot of clients, 150 or more, and I've stopped taking clients on my Patreon and everything else until next year because I've just got too many clients. It's a lovely place to be, but I do work on my own, and it's very, very difficult to keep up with the client support and that sort of thing. So also yesterday, European Investment Bank issued a 100 million bond, a digital bond on Ethereum. God knows why they use Ethereum. This sale was led by Goldman Sachs and Banco Santander, which is XRP's client. So I don't know why they didn't use XRP. It's such a better system. Seriously, no fees, no nothing. And XRP can do anything. The RippleNet system can deliver anything, any sort of asset, right? Digitally, right? Also behind that was other banks as well. Also, Tezos has joined partners with Societe Generale, which is a very strange setup. But, Societe Generale is huge, and that's great for Tezos. And Tezos is cheap. Tezos reminds me of theatre, and I do believe that Tezos can get up to about $11.80, somewhere near theatre. And at the moment, I think it's only about $5.52 or something, right? Now, KuCoin Bank have, they've got something like 8 million clients. They raised 20 million in funding from IDG Capital and Matrix Partners, and they're setting up another coin, KCC, a community coin. So keep an eye on that. That should do quite well. 1inch launched a wallet. Iran Central Bank said yes to cryptocurrency. Banks can use cryptocurrency, and currency exchanges can use cryptocurrency for import and payments. And that makes sense because their currency, the Iranian currency, I don't even know what it is, it's gone to hell, okay? So, you wouldn't want to use currency because there's no value in it. In every country in the world where there's no value in currency, you see the same thing like Nigeria and all other countries in Africa where their currency is terrible. You see it in Iraq, you see it in Turkey. Turkey's buying crypto, even though it's illegal, because they don't want to sit in the Turkish lira, which is understandable. Banks Central banks all over the world have mismanaged money in a terrible, terrible way. They've been issuing debt constantly, which is akin to selling their own currency. And so therefore their currency dies. And this is what we're going to see with the US dollar, okay? All this issuing issues, it's printing currency. It's printing US dollars, and it's like selling US dollars into the market, okay? So it'll keep going on. Now, one of the largest video makers in the world, it's a Korean-Japanese gamer. Nexon bought 1717 Bitcoin, $100 million of Bitcoin. It's only 2% of their cash, and they bought it at 58226. And it's only 2% of their reserves. They could actually increase that, right? And that's what we're seeing a lot of corporates doing. They don't want to sit in currency, fiat currency. Gemini has partnered with MasterCard to launch crypto cards reward credit card, and they'll be offering 3% cash back on Bitcoin. Matic is up 123%. Polygon for the week or more. We're in this. We've been buying Polygon Matic since it was about 22 cents. It's a great story, okay? And I think it'll continue to go up. I have a target on that thing of at least $1.90, okay? Fetch, which is FET, which is artificial intelligence, we're in that as well. That was up 50% as well. Myth, which we're in, was up 24% as well, okay? Now, Pantera Capital basically have, by the end of the year, a target on Bitcoin of 115,000, which I do think it can get there. But keep in mind the alts, specific alts are going to perform better, okay? Now, we know that Musk sold 10% of Bitcoin and made a $101 million profit, but he still holds a lot of Bitcoin, okay? A massive amount of Bitcoin. Now, on Friday, it's going to be a big day. As I said, you've got Binance's profit coming out. You can see all the exchange coins going up. Hubi token went up like $2 last night. OatB went up. All the exchange coins, QCon, Binance went up, and it doesn't surprise me because it's going to be very bullish what Binance comes out with their profit. I think it's going to be right over the street's estimate, okay? Now, on Friday also, there's a lot of options maturing for Bitcoin, 4 billion, and they're set to expire on Friday with a strike of 50,000 and 52 to 80,000. And I reckon they will certainly keep those strikes intact because they're in the money at the moment at 50 and 52,000. Also, Ethereum has 930 million of options expiring as well, and all these are basically in-stow positions. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens on Friday. I'll be looking with bated breath. Seriously, it's a big, big day in markets, okay, particularly in cryptocurrency markets. Now, Cardano, IOK partners with Ethiopian government to implement a national blockchain-based student teacher ID and attainment recording system, right? This is to digitally verify grades remotely and monitor school performance and boost education and employment nationwide. What a great initiative for Cardano. I really like this, Fed income. I love the fact that they're in Africa and they're trying to help the Africans, right, with their education and everything. It's called a teleprism built on Cardano will enable authorities to create tamper-proof records of educational performance across 3,500 schools, 5 million students, wow, massive figures, 750 million teachers, and will pinpoint the locations and causes of educational underachievement and allocate resources effectively. And I think that's super. They'll give the students IDs and everything, okay? It's a really good story. Enjin, the development team behind JumpNet on Ethereum scaling solution with Web3, JumpNet blockchain has received support of 50 projects, which includes Binance, Microsoft, OKX, and more. Wow, I love Enjin. Enjin is cheap. You can get to $4 easily. And also, Enjin uses a proof of authority, which is sort of like a private network, okay? So they don't have to go through this proof of work with Ethereum and where their coins cost a fortune if you want to transact, okay? Now, PayPal demand, the CEO said that the demand for cryptocurrency is just astronomical. And, golly, Binance just gone to 604.60. Breakout, big time, babies. Breakout, man. And I've been telling my clients to buy Binance since it was $5, $15, $30, $40, $70, $100, $200, $300, $400. Even here, it's a buy. It's a buy. Binance will be $1,200 US by the end of the year. I have no doubt in my mind about that. Now, PayPal, who I hate, they charge a fortune for everything. I can't stand them. When you're trying to get money out or anything, it's just a nightmare. You never get it for 3 days or something like that. They charge through the roof. I would never use their cryptocurrency service, but apparently they are making a lot of money from crypto, more than anything else, okay? So more even than their underlying business, which I find quite amazing, okay? So they intend to expand that, which is understandably so because they're making a lot of money, right? JP Morgan and DBS to launch blockchain payments platform with Tamesk, which is a huge Malaysian business, right, for cross-border payments and trade and FX settlements. Sorry, that's my voice thing for financial markets. Polygonmatic also partnered with Phoenix Dao to launch events, remarket and D-apps, right? So you can buy tickets for upcoming events. What a great idea. Seriously, really, really good idea. Sorry, this is all over the place because I've been doing 2 days of information. XRP is partnering with a lot of different unis in South Africa, Iceland and Derby, of all places, right? Dubai, right? Which is quite amazing. And I've also mentioned that the SEC looks like they're not going to win against XRP, which is, you know, absolutely right, because the SEC hasn't got a clue. Fair income, they really haven't. They're way out of their depth, okay? And I think this is why they're having this new commission to work out cryptocurrency. They should have done that first before they started suing Ripple. Seriously, it's just a joke. Also, Phoenix relisted XRP, which is great. KuCoin launches a testnet of a community chain KCC powered by KuCoin tokens, right? And it's got Ethereum compatibility, Binance compatibility, and, you know, I think it's great because, you know, also Polynex is supporting them, which is Justin's son. He owns a bit of Polynex. You find that all the Asian exchanges support each other. Binance, OKX, Hubi Token, Poloniex. And they're all supporting this initiative, okay? Now, also one of the Americans' largest banks, it's called US Bank Global Fund Services, plans to offer crypto custody and services pending approval from the Office of the Controller of Currency, okay? It is a large bank, and golly, if they come in, it's going to be huge. Their spending power will be huge. Billions and billions and billions of dollars, okay? Also, the OCC granted Paxos conditional approval for a bank, okay? And that's pretty big, right? That's great for Paxos, okay? There were regulation rumours, but again, I told you I don't believe that's going to happen until next year, okay? Now, also, Tesla is sitting on 2.5 billion of Bitcoin. People were worried that, you know, Elon Musk was selling 10% of his Bitcoin. But again, you know, he just wanted to take some profit. He's still holding the rest, and I'm quite calm about that. He'll probably come to the market again and buy more, right? You know, that's for sure. Now, there was a hack on another DeFi, and this is why I don't like DeFi. I hate DeFi. There's always hacks, right? No matter what system they're on, whether they're on Binance Smart Chain or Ethereum. And DeFi is risky, and I do not trade or invest in DeFi. And this is why I don't, because the rug could be pulled out under you for any reason or any time. And seriously, you know, you're just going to lose all your money, right? That's why I don't do DeFi. I don't need to be there. There's many other great coins in the market. There's 9,800 different coins and tokens. And we would probably only trade and invest in 40 total, right? And we keep looking at those. You don't need to spread yourself too wide, because if you go too wide, you cannot keep up with the fundamentals of each project. And that's a fact, right? And that's what a lot of amateurs do. They go too wide. You have to be more specific, right? Now, this uranium finance hack, there was something wrong with the security code within the system of this uranium finance. It was a daily dividend automated market maker of some sort. And, you know, people lost $50 million, right? Now, you've also got to remember, if it's not the exchange's fault, like Binance's or Ethereum's, right, platform, then, you know, you're going to lose your money no matter what. The exchanges are not going to reimburse you for something when a DeFi, you know, has its code problem, right, and hasn't been audited, and then people lose money. The exchange will not reimburse you for that. And that's another reason why I don't want to be in DeFi. I don't care the gains. The risk is too high. The risk-return ratio, the Sharpe ratio, doesn't work. The risk, the volatility are way too high for my unit of risk, for my unit of return, okay? And that's why I'm not there. volatility is through the roof on DeFis, right? Now, Binance Smart Chain, as I said, they're going to launch an NFT. They launched an NFT IDO DEX offering, and the token was called Refineable to trade and leverage NFTs. And apparently this thing went within 5 minutes. This was the first NFT for Binance, an IDO. And this thing went for 5 minutes. It got issued at 0.033. It was a pump and a dump, and I think it finished at around $3. Gosh, the sort of money people can make is just phenomenal, right? No wonder people want to come into this crypto market. It's just unbelievable. It's a place where dreams are fulfilled. It doesn't surprise me. Japan sees record crypto deposits from last year, up like 13 billion for the quarter. 13 billion, massive. Just incredible. There's a rumor that Facebook could buy Bitcoin, and that doesn't surprise me. And there's also a rumor that Apple could buy Bitcoin, okay? Now, that doesn't surprise me. Also, Tron is doing more Tether than Ethereum, okay? And that's amazing. Justin Sun is amazing. And Tron is cheap. If I had more money, I'd buy more Tron. It is underpriced and undervalued. Should be a lot higher than where it is. Tron, in my mind, for what they do, it's an NFT exchange. He's setting up funds to buy physical assets. He bought Picasso. He's going to tokenize it. Justin Sun, again, is a genius. All art in the next 10 years, and I believe him and I agree with him, will be tokenized, right? He bought a Picasso for $20 million and he's going to tokenize it out of a fund. And that is smart, seriously smart. Whether you love or hate Justin Sun, he's a very, very bright guy. He bought Bitcoin for nothing. He monetarized it. He's bought Poloniex. He's now in NFT funds, and he's going to tokenize. A very, very smart guy. And also, I hasten to add, he's supported by all the other exchanges, the Asian exchanges. So don't doubt Justin Sun. This guy knows where he's going. He's quite brilliant, just like Changpeng Zhao from Binance, the head of Binance, okay, the CEO, right? Now, SBI came out with their profits, and they doubled their profits in crypto, right, just from a year ago, up 174 million pre-tax. Also, the CEO came out and said that Ripple, after the SEC fiasco, the CBI Group CEO Yoshita Tako Kiato, sorry, I can't pronounce his name properly, believes that Ripple should go public after the SEC lawsuit to do an IPO. Apparently, Chris Larsen wants that, and it could be within the next 12 months. I have mentioned an IPO before, and I think they will do it as soon as the SEC's out of the picture. And I think that's a great story for Ripple, because then you'll see what it's really worth, okay? XRP at $1.43 is way too cheap, okay? It's just too cheap for the amount of clients they have, for the business they're doing, and the money they're making. It's a cash cow business, and Ripple have got the right story. They're going globally. It's the best system for payments out there, and this coin should be worth a lot more than where it is, okay, at $1.43. I mean, even Alan is getting into NFTs. She sold a few NFTs the other night, which is incredible. She's getting in, everyone's getting in, seriously. As I said, the USA Congress passed bill addressing crypto regulation. The SEC and the Commodities Futures Trading Commission to establish a digital asset working group and open new regulatory frameworks for both digital assets and crypto assets. They haven't got a clue, fair income. They should have done this before they sued XRP, right, Ripple. To improve the regulatory landscape in the US, they're going to it's a 1 year full year of evaluation, provide technical documentation and recommendations to how regulatory environment should be implemented through compliance frameworks once signed. They need this desperately. I don't know who's on this commission, but let's hope there's people that have some idea of the technology of cryptocurrency and what it is, fair income. If they'd done this before they sued Ripple, they wouldn't have a problem, right? Now, Turkey to regulate exchanges, because we know that Thodex and VeBitcoin shut down because apparently the owners of those exchanges absconded with the money, right? And people lost billions and billions of dollars, right? So the Turkish government is now going to create a central bank for crypto, which I think is very interesting, and regulate crypto, and they're going to be a custodian for cryptocurrency after billions were lost with these two exchanges. And it's not surprising because the Turkish lira is going down, down, down. And who wants to hold Turkish lira when it's going to be worth nothing? Seriously. Your currency's worth nothing and inflation is going through the roof. If you look at the manufacturing purchasing indices globally, they're all going up. It means that the cost of inputs is going through the roof, whether it be wood, whether it be steel, whether it be goods, whether it be anything, right? You know, we had Procter & Gamble out there. We had Johnson & Johnson out there. They're raising their prices for everything, right? For baby products, nappies, for women's cosmetics, women's personal things. And, you know, inflation's through the wall, through the roof, right? Now, the Fed's saying, oh, inflation's only at 2.5%. That's bumpkin. We all know that. So there is massive inflation around. And with that, we're going to see risk markets go through the roof. You have to buy physical assets like gold, like silver. Silver looks very interesting at the moment. It looks quite bullish to me. It's got to break $30 to be, you know, so much higher. It is very, very cheap. And so is gold, which is a hedge against inflation, right? Those two things are going to go through the roof as far as I'm concerned because they are too cheap. We have inflation, there is no doubt about it, and it is getting worse. The purchasing power of the dollar is going down, and it's just getting worse for middle class, the lower class, and everything else. Seriously, people are bleeding, and it's killing people. The cost of living is killing people. After the last 20 years, it's gone whoosh, straight up. Now, Visa payments are giant moving into crypto, and we know Crow has them as a client. Now, the media was wrong about this, okay? And let me explain this. The media said that it was on Ethereum's platform, and it wasn't. They did not do this on Ethereum's platform. Visa moved USDC, which is an Ethereum token, stable coin. They moved it on Crow, not Ethereum, okay? So Crow had Visa as a client, and yet Crow is only worth 1.189 cents. It is just a gimme. Cheap. It should be priced as an exchange. Crow is an exchange, and they're doing a lot of amazing things. Their app is incredible, right? And they're putting more and more new coins on their exchange. I think Crow is a very cheap entry into the cryptocurrency market if you have not got any exposure. There are so many opportunities in this market. It is not too late to get in. Now, Jed McCallum keeps dumping XRP, and we have to be mindful of that. The guy still holds $2 billion worth of Ripple, okay, XRP, right? So this guy is going to constantly dump XRP. You know, the handcuffs are off. He's got no lockup. He can sell $2 billion of XRP this year. So be mindful of that, okay? It's going to not help with the coin, but, you know, again, this guy's out there selling. He has been dumping about 200 million or 600 million of XRP in the last month or so, right? Now, Brian Brooks is now working for Binance, and now he's the CEO of Binance in the USA. We don't know what happened to Catherine Coley that came from Ripple. You know, people have tried to be contacting her because she was supposed to be the CEO, but it looks like she's been replaced by Brian Brooks, who was the temporary head of the OCC. Okay, remember that? The OCC, which, you know, it's a great story that Binance have him because he's a very, very, you know, well-known guy, right? And the OCC is the Office of the Comptroller of Currency that gives people their banking license and all sorts of things. So this guy, Brian Brooks, really knows about regulation and everything, and it's a great coup for Binance, right? A fantastic coup to get this guy who really, really knows his stuff and puts them on the map with the regulators as well, because this guy is very, very talented. Now, Binance is offering Microsoft, Apple, and MicroStrategy tokens. And the German regulatory people, I forget what they call themselves, BAP or something, are saying, you know, that they might be in breach of securities law. But these are tokens. How can they be in breach of securities law? They're not shares, they're tokens. You know, again, the regulators haven't got a clue. Okay, they really haven't got a clue. That's for sure. OKEX said that there's more retail people buying Bitcoin than there were institutions, according to them. In the first quarter 2020, 187,000 Bitcoin was sold to retail, which is massive. The power of retail, okay? Now, FET, which we're in, it's an artificial intelligence. They announced a collaboration with Katanax Automotive Network for more efficiency and quality, okay? And that's huge. Also, don't forget, VeChain, PricewaterhouseCoopers owns some of VeChain, okay? VeChain has incredible partners and ownerships and people supporting them, right? And VeChain, there was something else that came out about VeChain. VeChain joins the NFT frenzy. The VeChain Foundation announced a $1 million fund for the VeChain fund for the VeChain grant program geared towards developers and projects that will bring value to the enterprise, NFT ecosystem and derivatives, right? And that's great for VeChain, okay? That's super. Absolutely super. Now, we had a 2-day Fed meeting, and there was no change in interest rates, but the bond buying project, every month they're going to plow 150 billion constantly into the system, and that's not even talking about their $1.8 trillion family and education package, or their infrastructure package, or anything else for that matter. They're talking 4, 6, 7 trillion coming into the market. And that's just going to push up risk markets, right? Completely. Risk markets, whoosh, okay? Absolutely. And it's going to weaken the currency, right? Again, President Biden has to get this $1.8 trillion plan, which is a welfare plan, through the Senate. No, it's going to be hard. I imagine if it's, the Republicans will certainly be against this. I mean, Biden's speech last night spoke about 1.9 trillion, 2.25 trillion, 1.8 trillion, 4.5 trillion. Where the devil is this guy going to get all the money from? You know, the hike in capital gains tax is only going to deliver about a 1.5 trillion. So there's a massive deficit here to where President Biden, is going to get his money from. Clearly, he's just going to issue more and more US dollars, which is going to weaken the US dollar. The US dollar cannot possibly stay up at 108.85, given that they are selling more and more US dollars into the system every day. Okay, every day. It's going to bring the US dollar down, right? Now, also Pazox, as I mentioned, they raised $300 million and they plan to add more clients. They're also, PayPal apparently is one of their clients, which is interesting. And as you know, Paxos got a banking license through the OCC, which is great for them. Really, really big, okay? Now, Polygon launches a $150 million fund to buy DeFi, to make it, to bring DeFi to the masses, to make it more accessible to everyone, and also to increase their user base. And that's great for them. Also, Justin Sun launches a first ever Picasso NFT fund with just NFT. As I said, he purchased a Picasso painting for $20 million to tokenize the fund. He said there's a huge gap between traditional art and digital art. He believes that in the next 10 years, everything will be tokenized of value. And I agree with that. If it's a one-off like paintings like Picasso, they're all going to be tokenized. You can buy a token for a Picasso painting, and get the value of it going up, right? Because it's a one-off, right? There's no supply. So you buy anything where there's no supply and a one-off, okay? And I think that is a great story. Justin Sun, as I said, you love him or hate him, I love him. I think he's a genius, okay? And, I'm backing him because I love Tron, right? And I agree with him. Now, as I said, what else we got here? Let's just check. I'll talk about fiat markets in a minute. But, as I said, it's not too late to get into this market. Everything looks so bullish to me. Swipe is broken out, right? Tron is cheap. Win is cheap. YRX is cheap. XRP is cheap. Tezos cheap, XRX is cheap, GRT is seriously cheap, Quantum's cheap, Binance is breaking out, BTT cheap, under a cent, man. Chiles is still cheap, you get to 89 very quickly. Enjin's cheap, ICX is cheap, Just is cheap. It's still not too late to get into this market. Also, many coins are starting to break out from, the sell-off, right? It ain't too late to get into this market. That's a fact, right? Absolutely not, right? And even my trading system, right, is saying 240 bullish, 730 negative because the market sold off so much. It's a buying opportunity, girls and boys. It's seriously a buying opportunity. Now, if we look at worldwide searches, it was Polygon Matic, which we have, Solana, Dogecoin, Pancake Swap, Swipe, which we have, Bakery Swap, Solana. What else do we have? If we look at Luna Crush, it was Phantom, Pancake, Chiles, which we have, Polygon, which we have, Swipe, ADA, Binance, which we have. We have all those, Uniswap, Axie Finance, AVE, and Anchor. Okay, and that was on the social media, right? And that's what people are looking at in terms of Twitter and all that sort of business, right? So, everything to me looks so bullish, particularly. Now, if we just go to very quickly look at Nazario and look at the reported volume, Tether was 28.71 bill. Ethereum was 7.44 bill, Bitcoin 6.66 bill, Binance US 4.62 bill, Dodge 3.47 bill. Volatility on Dodge is through the roof. It's like 440% on a day. It's Dodge, seriously. Binance looks like it's breaking out at the moment. Binance is basically, what do we got? 2.87 billion. That's massive. Wow. So they're starting to buy Binance. According to Livecoin Watch, I've got Binance at 606 already, 606.70. Is that right? Wow, let's go to my charts. That's massive. That's moved up a lot already, man. What do we got here? Just bear with me. I've got to look at my charts here. Binance, how much is that up? That's up a lot. Golly, that's gone up a lot from last night. I think I had Binance last night at... let me just check here, guys and girls. Bear with me. I had it at 558. Wow. And where is it now? 613. Good grief. Wow. Well, certainly got the right position here. Loving it. 613, 612. Fantastic. Wow. That is amazing. I'm really happy with that, I tell you. And my clients will be happy for sure. So, there's been lots of volume in this market. There's no doubt about it. And I think it'll continue. The supply of coin on the exchanges is at all-time lows, okay? So why would you be selling coins that can be tokenized in the future, right? Think about it. Binance, $2,000 per coin. People aren't going to be able to afford 1 unit of Binance. They'll tokenize it, and then you'll have to, it'll cost you more, right? It's like a block of flats, right? From a house to a block of flats. A house is worth $1 million. You subdivide the houses and put them in units, and then each unit's worth $1 million. See what I'm saying? So the underlying is worth more, being Binance the coin. And that's why I say you hold forever. You don't sell good assets. You just borrow against them at 5% with Nexo. It's a no-brainer, and you don't have a tax event. I'm not a tax accountant, so don't take me as gospel. Speak to your own tax accountant in your own jurisdiction. But it's a no-brainer. You do not sell good assets, okay? You just don't. It's like holding property. You hold it forever and you gear against it, borrow against it, or you rent it out for income and you hold it for capital gain. It's the same story. You don't sell good assets. And the risk is in this market, people sell too early, right? And that's so amateur, right? People don't sell their profits. People should be selling their losses fast. Get out of the loss. The best loss in anything is the smallest loss. Get out of that and get into a coin that's moving, right? You can't muck around because this is your wealth. You got to be your own private banker. This is your wealth, and you got to keep an eye on it, and you got to watch every day and monitor constantly. And that's what I do, monitor all the time. As I said, we can only look at about 40 or 45 coins. As I said, there's 10,000 coins and tokens in the market or more. Right? We can't go too wide because we have to know everything fundamentally about that position that we're in. Every day we have to monitor news and everything else, right? So let's start talking about the fiat markets. Now, the equity market is bull. There's no doubt about it. Some of the results came out. Microsoft results are incredible. Alphabet's results were credible. Record growth, up 34% in growth, man. These people are making so much money. The market looks very, very good to me. I have to say the equity market, even that, because, the growth stories is very good. A lot of results have been higher than expected, and it's a very, very good story. With the Fed they're keeping to put money in. It just means risk asset markets like equity, corporate debt, hybrids, cryptocurrency markets, property is going to go through the roof, gold's going to go through the roof, and XRP is going to go through the roof, plus silver, plus, any physical object where there's a lack of supply, like collectibles and this sort of thing, even collectible stamps, okay? It's a no-brainer, seriously. So, as I said, Biden, they had the FOMC meeting, no rate hike, and Biden came out with all these adjustments. High tax earners are going to have to pay 39.6%. If you're over $1 million, we're going to issue more and more debt no matter what. The trade deficit figures look at shocker. They're going to keep buying more assets, 120 billion, sorry, not 150. What difference does it make? Seriously. House price inflation is up more than anything over the years, up more than 15, up massively over 15 years. Price producer indices are up everywhere, so the cost of inputs is killing people, and you can see that with the US. They're buying in inputs and it's costing them a fortune. That's why their trade deficit figures are so bad, okay? All the G7 countries, right? House prices are through the roof, man, through the roof. Utility bills are through the roof. Everything's through the roof. We are not in a 2% inflationary environment. Do not believe that, seriously. Don't forget, jobless claims in the US are still at 553,000 a week. This is new people that claim unemployment benefits. I'm confused by this because on one side, you've got all these people that are out of work. And then on the other side, you've got people saying they can't find labour. And, they're even thinking about using people in jail for labour. So I don't know what's going on here. There's very mixed messages with the stats and what's being said at the ground level. I'm totally confused by that. All I can assume is it is hard to get work in the US because, why would you have 553,000 new people a week applying for, jobless claims the first time ever? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me, okay? Now, oil really bounced last night. Oil's going higher, and I have no idea why, but it is. It's at 63.79 and looks very bull. Silver's at 26.35, and to me, it looks like it can go a lot higher. Watch out for silver. If it breaks $30, it's going to be breakout on that thing. Gold, if it gets through 1,800, I'm bullish. I'm still very bullish gold. It's cheap at 1.776. The US 10-year bond rate has been going up at 1.66, which is not great. The Fed will do some yield curve manipulation, but I suspect the US interest rate curve will steepen quite dramatically. What I mean by that is they'll hold the short rates as tight as they can because there's no rate hike, but because there's inflation in the system and huge inflation, that US $10 yield will sell off. In other words, that yield will go higher and price of the bond will go down, okay? And that is a curve steepening, right? Where the short end stays stable, but the long end, the yield goes higher and higher and the curve gets steeper and steeper. And I've had quite a few steepening trades on where I'm actually short the 10-year yield against being long the 2-year yield, okay? Short the 5-year yield against being long the 2-year yield. And you can do all sorts of trades in this market. It's fascinating, right? And all markets are connected by cash. Don't forget that, right? You think they're disconnected, they're not. They're all connected by cash flow. Always remember that. If one market's draining cash, it's going to grab it from another market somewhere, okay? And you need to be mindful of that. The US dollar is at 108.85. It's still too high as far as I'm concerned. I'm selling the US dollar at any rally. Aussie's at 77.98, which is quite high for us. Also, don't forget COVID is still out of control in India and Japan. India's got a shocking situation at the moment. 200,000 cases yesterday and going up and more deaths, unfortunately. So in parts of the world, there's still lockdown. In Australia, we will not allow any flights in or out to India. And, you find that in parts of the world, there's still a lot of concern over COVID. So please do be careful of that and look after yourself. But look, there's so much going on in this market, seriously. And I'm ultra bull. And it's not too late to buy, right? Buy BTT, it's cheap, under a cent, right? Buy Tron, 12 cents, it's cheap. VeChain, 19 cents. Cheap. Enjin, cheap. Ambrosis, cheap. I mean, the list goes on. Chile's cheap. Honestly, there's so much opportunity here, guys and girls, and babies in the woods. Anyway, darlings, thank you so much for listening. I know I've talked a bit, and I'm sorry, you know, I left without saying anything, but I was just absolutely just so tired, and I needed a break. So you'll forgive me for that, my darlings. Anyway, I will talk to you all very soon, and please get into the market. You're going to make some money, seriously. You don't want to miss out. You've got to take your own finances into your own hands, seriously. If you wait for the government, you're going to go broke. Fair income. Don't rely on governments, honestly, because they're not going to be around in the futures and you won't get pensions or anything, right? You've got to make the money for yourself now. Anyway, guys and girls, that's enough of me, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Thank you.